Hey, what's going on YouTube? Welcome to another episode of my trading vlog. Today is July 23rd, and as you can probably tell from the video title, it was not a very good day. It's not even the worst day that I've actually ever had. You can see that I'm holding a loss here of $315.70, but I'm also holding a profit overnight. Right now the market is closed right now. It'll open in about 17 minutes at 6 for the overnight session, and I am sitting in a profit of almost $700, a little bit less than $700. So it's not even that bad. It's just that I think what's more important, and I say this over and over again, and I'll continue to say it because I think it's the most important piece of this game, is the mental capital and the emotional toll that certain losses and certain wins can take on you. And for me, today was one of those days. If I was just wrong, and I just like I thought I should go, the trade just went against me. I thought I thought I wanted to take the trade down short, but it went long. Not really anything I can do. I'm just plain wrong. Right? If I'm just wrong about the trade, I can handle it, I think, a lot better than what actually happened today, which is I was right. I was right, but I still lost. You ever feel that? You know, when you're right, but you still lose, you still don't get the win? I wonder if anyone else can relate to that. That was definitely the case for me today. And all I can really say is that it was very disappointing, very frustrating, right? That's all I can really say. And what we're looking at here is, I'll just go very briefly. I am abiding by my whole, order stacking rules and everything like that, and that is stretching my margin thin. And so I'm not sure. I should have closed these out, but I was busy. I was eating very, very late lunch and everything. I lost track, right? And so right now don't pay attention to how the values are changing right now. The market's closed, rollover spread, banks are doing their thing, brokers are doing their thing. That doesn't really matter all that much. What matters today, the lesson that I want to share with you guys that I learned today, is that you can be right and still lose, and the emotional toll that it takes, and the coping mechanism that you have with it is what makes like a really, really big difference. So for me right now, I am very like frazzled. I don't know what to do and how to deal with this going forward, except just pray that I'm right. Like, it's just, I don't know. So I'm super disappointed. Let me share with you what I'm talking about. So today we actually had natural gas news, right? And I actually had two contracts set at $1.675, sitting all the way, from yesterday overnight. Right, I'm just sitting there. Maybe I put it in this morning, or maybe I put it in last night. I don't really remember, but it was one of these orders that I was hoping it would just pick me up and then break through. Obviously, in retrospect, you can see that it did that. So why did I take the order off? Why did I miss out on this completely? Well, the idea. And this is where, I guess a little bit of blame game comes into play. Right before the news, which is at 10:30, right before this, right here, the teacher that I follow, the trader that I follow, was talking about how today was he wasn't really interested in taking the breakouts up or down, and I was waiting for some kind of a news break so that it would so that I could take the trade. And I was okay. I was expecting some movement downward, but I had plenty of breathing room in the stop because then the average move is about 35 ticks, and I have plenty. Like my position is usually a quarter below this, right? So unless we had some crazy move, I shouldn't get stopped out in an instant, right? And when the news broke, it was very minor, right? That's why you can see the candle isn't really that significant. So I actually had taken that order off, and I was following other stuff that he was doing because he was saying he wasn't going to pay attention to the news breakout. It was minor. It was the news came out. It was like 37 billion was the forecast, and the actual also came out to be 37 billion. I don't know what measurement they used, but it doesn't matter. The news was as expected, is the point, and so not that great of a movement, right? Not that big a deal. Only you can see that it was absolutely a huge deal, and there was just like a massive amount of movement to the upside that I missed out on completely, and I mean, I was very tempted to chase, but I didn't look. I was distraught and I was frustrated because moments before the news broke, I took that order off. It was just that timing. It was a matter of 30 seconds, and me misinterpreting, I guess, what I had heard my teacher say and taking the order off. This right here is hundreds of dollars I had the 1-to-1 set. So that's definitely like $65 or so booked, and the rest of it I would more than likely still be holding. And this is at least a $250 move right here. This is on the micro, or the mini, I should say. There is no micro yet for the natural gas. So it's times like this where it's like. I think the managing trades and managing margin and strategy is important too. But for me, like, what really throws me off my game more is when stuff like this happens, where it's like, if I just left it, I would have been fine. I'd rather lose leaving it than miss by taking something off that would have been a winner. And I'm not sure, like, I'm told that's a really bad habit. I'm told that it's you're better off missing than they use what stands out is the saying that they have a saying in the army, because a lot of traders I'm finding were served in the armed services or armed forces in one way, shape, or form. I know one trader, one of the best traders I know is from the Air Force. One of the other best traders I know is from the Army, right? Military, and then some of the best entrepreneurs I know are from the Marines. Like, I think there's a big correlation with how much discipline you face in that kind of an environment, in an armed forces type of thing, and correlated to the trading game or the business game or anything like that. And it makes me appreciate them and respect them on a new level. But for me right now, what's frustrating about this is they have a saying that that I'm sure is valid, but for me it just kind of goes the opposite way. The saying is, it's better to be a pilot on the ground wishing you were in the sky than be a pilot in the sky wishing you were on the ground, right? So it's better to be not in a trade wishing that you were in one than to be in a trade you wish you were not in. And logically, I get it. But emotionally, I have a better time, I have an easier time dealing with the disappointment of, I got stopped out, right? Because I think I'm pretty decent at managing my risk in terms of like percentage loss of my account and stuff like that, and then managing stops along the way and everything, and which I'll show you in a sec, because I have the silver lining is the euro is actually keep is still working for me. Although it's showing a little bit of weakness. I'll get to that in just a second. That's my crown jewel for the week so far. It's what's kind of keeping me afloat. I'm having these losing days, and that euro trade that it's still open is what's keeping me like kind of still in the game, and allowing me to stay at a break-even kind of level, even though, and minimize my loss to only a little bit. Even though it was like 200 yesterday and 300 today. Horrible, horrible, horrible week. Anyway, I have an easier time dealing with the disappointment of like, whoops, I got stopped out. Then like, whoops, I took the trade off, and like but a trade I wanted to keep that I took someone else's advice, and or I misinterpreted their advice. Who knows how else you want to say it, but and I missed out on something huge, and it makes me feel like I feel like I should have stuck to my own guns, you know. That can get really destructive really fast because it's easy to get triggered in a lot of losses, right? So here's the other example of that. With the crude oil. Crude oil is really what took me out, right? Because this trade that I'm talking about with the nat gas is, I didn't take it at all, so I didn't lose, I didn't win. It's a neutral. It was just like mentally very and emotionally very disappointing and frustrating. The actual losses came from crude oil, where I did exactly what I said that I was practicing, just in the wrong place, right? So I did the right thing in the wrong place, and I paid dearly for it. I lost all my losses. Pretty much came from the crude oil. I lost 3/4, which is 175 times 3, which is 375, right? Those were huge losses, and I have like small wins from the Dow and whatever, like here and there, that like were very tiny trades from who I was following, that I only took one contract on because I didn't have margin, and like, you know, I mitigated some of my losses from 375 down to like 320. Small wins. I had and then I got break even for some of those. Those aren't even worth talking about. I'm here to talk about the big the most significant loss, which was crude oil, which is right here. So what was going through my mind this morning was, okay, I woke up and I saw this candle, and I was like, oh wow, okay, well, I wanted to I was tempted to go long here yesterday, but I didn't, and I wanted to see a little bit more. Well, yesterday I just fell asleep really early. I ended up sleeping like 11 hours, you know, from like so I didn't see any of this, actually, truthfully. Although at the time that I did look at it, I was like, it looked more like this, and I was like, I don't really know which way I want to take this. I mean, it does seem to be kind of bullish on the RSI. You know, it's peaking its head above 60 and stuff, but I don't know. I want to see a little bit more first, and then it passed out. So this morning I saw that it you know, if had I put a set and forget order here, then I would have gotten triggered, and I would have at least completed 1-2 quarters before this mess happened. I woke up watching this candle complete, and I was like, oh my goodness, I'm kind of glad I didn't get in yesterday, because this would have been very disappointing, right, as well. I might have been able to cut my losses for, like, you know, 1/4 completion, right, and that's $125. Not bad, right? It didn't complete my would not have hit my 3-to-1 target, but, you know, I settle for a 1-to-1 instead of losing completely, right? So it's a form of losing for profit. So, and I've done plenty of that, but like that's not a win. Losing for profit is still losing. I just want to be very clear, because all that does is kind of weigh it kind of mitigates the losses that are negative, right? So losing for or like getting a break even, or losing for a profit is still technically losing in my book, right? Because like emotionally, mentally speaking, because you're like relieved, but it's a relief. It's like a loss that wasn't that bad, that wasn't that embarrassing, right? You still missed your target. That's at least how I hold it in my book. Mathematically, it's a win, but practically, in terms of training wise and in terms of getting better, it's not a win. It's not something to celebrate. So just to be clear, right? On the balance sheet, it counts as a win, right? Anyway, so when I saw this, I was like, all right, I don't look at like this massive drop in RSI. Like I don't know what I want anymore. I'm definitely paying attention for more shorts now, and so I said I told myself I'll wait for the open, right? Because that's when the like real volume will kick in. And when I saw that, I was like, okay, this is the open. This is before the open. 8 a.m. is when day trading rates kick in, and that's actually when the volume really picks up, or starts to pick up. It really picks up and really hits on the market open. But even at 8 a.m., you'll see some kind of you'll see increased activity and more price action. So here I was like, okay, maybe should I market order? I was very hesitant. That was like the theme of the day today. It's like when I'm having a losing week, I tend to get more hesitant and gun shy, and I think I said that a bunch of times this week. So this here is the open, and I had on the open. The teacher I'm following does opening range breakouts, his own version of it. That's who I learned it from, and he had some shorts set here that did not work, right? And the stop, the stop should have been, the stop was almost the same as what I keep my stop anyway, so it was like slightly smaller than a quarter, the way that he calculated his stop. And so I was like, all right, whatever. I'll just set it at a quarter, which I immediately regretted as soon as I got stopped out. I was like, damn, I should have kept the stop kind of small. At least it would have been a little bit less painful. But that didn't help. And so I got stopped out. And so you think here, looking at this, like seeing what you see here, I got stopped out like at the 41,825. This candle right here, these two blue arrows is what stopped me out. And I immediately thought, well, I still want shorts. I still want shorts because the RSI is not that strong compared to... So, like, the movement down, this movement down 25 ticks was so much stronger than this movement up 25 ticks. You know? Right? So, like, I was like, okay, so there's definitely more momentum downwards than it is upwards. So sellers are still winning. I still want shorts. And I was right about that. So, but that's, you'll see that later. So I definitely wanted shorts still. I didn't want to just take the bounce all the way back up to my original target the way that I did yesterday. I think a mark, I've also heard from a very veteran trader that the mark of a good trader is that he's willing to change his mind, right? So I was bullish last night, even as of 6 a.m. this morning, but I immediately became bearish as soon as I saw this, and especially when I saw the bounce up after the open, and it was weaker than the momentum going down. So I was like, okay, I still want shorts. And so you can see this arrow right here. I took a short right here, and bam, got stopped out like almost immediately, right? This was the time. This was 11:30. This was time when I was like, I got my workout in and I was showering, right? And I didn't know that I wanted to. I was already like really annoyed at the 10:30 breakout trade that I missed. And this was, maybe there was a little bit of a revenge trade kind of mentality coming in that I wasn't really aware of. I thought I was being pretty objective about, how like the downward momentum was way stronger than the upward momentum. And I took that short again, because that's the other thing, is like, don't get shy about taking the trade again, just because you lost once. That's one of the things I picked up from Forex. But look, I got stopped out like immediately on the next candle. I got stopped out, and I didn't know this, but you see this right here. Like this is where like this gets so frustrating, that like the stuff happens when I'm not at my desk. You know, it's like I don't know what else to do except to like, I don't want to be a trader that's glued to their screen all day every day. You know, I want to have set it and forget it, like longer swing trades and everything. But like stuff like this, man, it just drives me insane. We see a doji candle formation, and then this is when it decides to do what it was trying to do all freaking day, and you see that nice strong move downward, which is what we wanted, which is what I was expecting to happen from this quarter, but instead it happened on this quarter. Now, I kind of anticipated this earlier, like yesterday or a couple of days ago. I did say that, you know what, I'm not gonna just use the big red line and the green lines anymore. I'm gonna start marking off the quarters in between, because I'm noticing that crude oil is behaving and respecting the smaller quarters as well, right? And if I'm going to take small quarters on the S&P for the same amount of risk, why wouldn't I do the same for crude oil, same amount of risk, right? Every small quarter is $125. That's like right around the amount of money that I can handle without breaking the bank, without breaking my own rules, really, right? Because it's 2% per trade per rule, maximum risk, and I have, I had $6,000 in my account, which I'm a little bit less than now. So it's like now I'm kind of stretching that by like into like 2.5% or whatever. But to me, I'm okay with that stretch, because that's just the nature of this particular game, the futures game. Right, so that's when this move happened, and you know, that's the nature of the game right now. Right now, the market is open, and who knows what it's going to do in the overnight? No one knows, really. But that summarizes my day today. I had the right read on the charts, on the market, and what I was looking for price to do. It did exactly what I thought it was going to do, but I still lost because I took the trade from down here instead of up here. That's extra frustrating for me, because I just talked about yesterday how I was going to start looking at other quarters, but I guess old habits die hard. I got tunnel vision or whatever, and instead of relaxing on because this has been tested so much, right? This level was tested 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times, right? And instead of taking that level again, I should have looked for a fresher level. You know, it's my own fault, obviously. Trading is the most honest game I think there is. That's why most people can't handle it, I think. But to me, that's what I like the most about it, is that there's nobody else to blame but yourself, and there's nobody else to take credit but yourself. It's 100% responsibility on you by nature, and I like that. That's why I like golf. That's why I like I like basketball too, but that's not the case with basketball at all. Basketball is a team game, very, very different. So anyway, that's to me, this is just, I guess this is the lesson really today is I had to pay 300 some odd bucks to really turn up the pain, to remember to look at the fresher small quarters. I mean, just because I got the right read doesn't mean that I have the right level, and that's what today really represents. And I had to pay more than $300 to learn that lesson. So that's it for today. Hopefully tomorrow I have a better day and I can break even for the week, and I may or may not be taking profit down from the euro, which right now, if we look, is I actually added on to, you can see that I have 4 contracts here working now. I actually was able to add on a position here early this morning. It was came in kind of deep because I had my stop down here, and then it rallied back up, and I took another. Where did I took another? Oh crap! I'm doing this wrong. Sorry. I took another contract at the 1600, but I put the stop in the wrong place. Right? I should give a little bit more room. If I took it at the 1600, I'm glad I'm showing you guys this in real time. I should take this down to 1575. And for some reason, my other stops got canceled. So I'm going to modify that by 4. Okay, perfect. So now I have I don't understand what's happening here. I don't see why did this order move up to 1513? I know that I'm in the position from 1425 all the way back on the 20th, which is Monday, but I'm just surprised. I don't understand why this line is moved up from down here to here. I haven't really done any swing trading on this platform on futures. Really, this is my first time seeing it, so you guys are seeing a surprise as much as I am right now. But you can see that I'm adding onto the position. This is the true nature of what I want to create on the quarters trading to demo this for you. And this week, the only thing that's really keeping me from losing my head is this trade right here that is in profit over $500. But I'm guaranteeing myself, 1, 2, 3 quarters worth. I added on at the 1575, and I also added at the 1600, right? So I added 2 contracts today. So assuming this continues to move up, which I believe it will, I don't see any fundamental reason for this to start crashing down, because the Europe is all like good news right now. And so I fully hope and anticipate that this will make it up to 1675 and maybe 1750, hopefully. At least 1675, hopefully by tomorrow. We'll see what happens. Europe opens at 2 a.m. Eastern time. I'm sound asleep. Usually, sometimes I can't sleep, but usually I am, in my bed, like passed out at 2 a.m. And hopefully it's been good. It's been good stuff up so far, and hopefully it doesn't end. Right? I'm gonna knock on wood and hope that it continues to hit at least this area right here, in which case I might add another contract if the momentum is above 60. If it's not 60, or if it's kind of getting up there but it's weak, I will move my stop up to maybe either take a couple of contracts off or take a profit. I don't know, because tomorrow is going to be Friday and I don't want to have too much exposure going into the weekend. I am open to holding stuff over the weekend, but maybe not as many as 4. Maybe I'll take half off. It really depends on how tomorrow goes. So make sure you hit subscribe. Make sure you hit follow so that you can see how my euro dollar trade goes for tomorrow. That's it for today's video. I'll see you guys tomorrow on Friday for another episode of my trading vlog on YouTube. Thanks everyone. Good night.